We have returned. I am your host. I am attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. I get a little off kilter there, Jim, and I have to.
We don't want to hear about your kilt.
I understand. Anyway, let's do this next segment.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog. And everybody, Stephen Leahy thinks he thinks he's Raymond Burr, if you know what I'm saying.
Mark, your dad always did a good one. Because in Ironside, you don't remember that show. Ironside, the guy pushed him around was Mark. Mark, push me around, Mark, because he was in a wheelchair. So you don't remember that. I know it was way before your time.
He didn't push him around. He pushed the wheelchair around.
And he just happened to be sitting in it.
He didn't get pushed around.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get pushed around.
But what I want, my blog segment this week, Jim.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What I'm going to talk about is part of my agreement when people hire me is I tell them I'm going to unlimit, because I work on a flat rate fee, as I've told people on this show.
An FRF?
That's right. I'm going to use that. A flat rate fee. and so part
Paging
of the
Mr. Harmon, Mr.
Now that is funny.
We get on it. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
That is funny. But anyway, part of my flat rate fee is, because people are afraid when you hire a lawyer and you're paying them by the hour, they're afraid to call because they're on the clock. So they don't want to call their lawyer because then some lawyers charge like 15-minute intervals, or some 6, some 10. So it depends on but if you call with a 30-second call, right, it's going to cost you 6 minutes. And 6 minutes, and if their hourly rate's $500.
Not if you use 10, 10, 2, 20, 1 in the number. Remember those
days?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
the call overseas.
I do remember that. Okay, but anyway, but again, as a flat rate fee, part of my fee is unlimited telephone consultations about your case or your financial affairs. So it's pretty broad. So I get a lot of questions from people who have hired other lawyers to help them in other areas before they met me. And almost to the person, I have a very good review posted this week on my review site. He said, "I'm sorry I didn't hire you," because he hired this guy I'm talking about. He hired a foreclosure attorney, and the foreclosure attorney was charged him. He paid him over $50,000. Unbelievable amount of money.
Wow.
And the foreclosure attorney that he hired is yelling at him all the time and treating him badly. And now he's got a settlement, and the guy won't return his phone calls or review his settlement with him. So the guy is calling me, "Hey, would you review this settlement with me?" I said yes, and so he sent it to me, and we did review it together. And I told him what I thought about it, and gave him my expert opinion, because I do know a lot of foreclosure stuff, and so I know all about it. And so I gave him, I'm kind of like, hey, well, you paid that guy $50,000. You think he would answer your phone call? But I didn't want to. It's not that I'm not going to pass him off and not help the guy.
Because that's what you do.
It's sad that the attorney he has won't answer his questions. But I get this a lot. So I got a guy on the train the other day.
If I can interject right here, ladies and gentlemen, that's the difference here. You get a lot of those guys, especially the bigger outfits, where they don't care about the individuality. They don't care. You're just another case number.
I agree with that.
Well, guess what? Opem Tax Resolution does not treat it
and
as
they pass
such.
you off to somebody else, and they never talk to you. I always make myself available. But I got a question this week on the train. Somebody on the train. Hey, I have a Chapter 13 case, and he had some questions about his Chapter 13 case, and it's coming to an end, and how does this work? And I'm thinking, well, you have a lawyer, don't you? Yeah, I have a lawyer, but he won't answer my phone calls. And it's not the same guy. There's another guy. He won't answer my phone calls. He never tells. I have all these questions. My case is coming to an end, and I can't get anybody to answer the questions. So he's asking me on the train, hey, what about this? How about this? How does this work? So I answered his questions, and we went around from there.
I think you've got a new thing going there. Lawyer on a train.
That's true.
He'll come to your train car and answer your questions.
But not for free. But if you approach me, I'll ask for. But okay, so I had another one. Okay, so she had a foreclosure case, and there was a modification, and she signed a modification over 6 months ago, and they still haven't dismissed her foreclosure case, and she's worried that they're going to go back into foreclosure, and she can't talk to her lawyer. She's got a lawyer. It wasn't me. She hired him before she met me, and so she's asking me about the question. Hey, what about this? And I said, well, you have a signed agreement. It's a binding agreement. They can't continue with that foreclosure. I don't care what they do. Even if you missed payments now, I would say that agreement solved that foreclosure, and they'd have to sign a new foreclosure. If you missed payments now. But anyway, and again, I help a lot of people with foreclosures and loan modifications, so I know about this stuff. And it gets me, again, when people, here they are, they paid these lawyers, and the lawyers won't answer their questions, and they have to go to me. Now, again, I'm happy to help, but I'm always happy to help. But it seems like if you have a lawyer and you're paying him, you'd think the guy would answer your questions. And if he's not, I think that you need to take some action, because I don't know everybody. I can't answer everybody's questions, but so that's a big thing. So when you hire a lawyer, if it's not me, I don't know why you wouldn't hire me, but if it's not me, it could be somebody else. Make sure that you have their direct line telephone number, and that they're going to answer your questions, and they're going to take your phone call when you call, because sometimes lawyers are afraid because they're afraid that if you're calling, there's a complaint, and they don't want to hear the complaints. And sometimes, and I get complaints, I get people who are unhappy about the things that are happening in their case. Oftentimes has nothing.
And we also get people calling sometimes about the show.
That's right.
And their answers or their questions are not answered.
Oh, one more thing I want to do.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. But again, if we don't answer these questions, guys, ChicagoTaxTeam.com.
And if your lawyer won't answer the questions, you can still contact me, and I'll answer the questions. So if your lawyer's not answering your question, pick up the phone, call me at 312-664-6649, or call us on the hotline, 312-262-5614, and leave a message there, and I'll have your question, and I'll answer it. But I wanted to talk about one more thing here, and I've talked about it a lot on this show, but I keep getting 3 or 4 calls a week about these IRS scams. Okay,
Still.
I got one today, matter of fact, before on the way here. It was a client of mine, and she called me, and I got the message because I didn't answer the phone. But I got the message, and I called her back, and she said, "Oh, I'm so happy. I'm on my way to the bank now to get the money that they're asking for." I said, "Whoa, wait. Don't go to the bank and give them any money. That's not the way this works." Okay, but she's afraid, and so and this happens to a lot of people. So I get these calls 2 to 5 times a week that someone calls and says the IRS is calling me and asking me for. Well, we talked.
I got a call. Because it was right before we came on the show, right. And they called me.
I tried to record it, and I couldn't.
I know we couldn't record it, but boy, I had the.
So let me assure you that
I had them going.
If the IRS tells you, if they say that they're from the IRS and they're telling you that they're going to bring criminal action against you unless you pay, that's a false call. Do not give them money. Never give them money. If you have a question about it, tell them I have an attorney. Call my attorney, and then give him my number, 312-664-6649. And if you haven't hired me yet, then you call me right away and hire me. Okay? But you probably don't even have to hire me, because this is false. This is fake. And a lot of people don't even owe the IRS, but because the IRS is known as such a powerful organization, people are afraid of them. And if they say, you owe us $1,500, so it's not a great deal of money. They're not saying $30,000, because a lot of people have $1,500 in the bank, and if they can avoid IRS problems for just giving them $1,500, they'd rather just give them the $1,500, right? And not even question it. Hey, well, I have this problem. I don't want it to go to jail, so let me give you the $1,500 and we'll be done with it. And even though they know that they don't have a problem. I mean, it baffles me, but this is what's happening. So remember, if you get a call from someone who says they're from the IRS, don't talk to them. Even if it is the IRS, get a lawyer. If you have an IRS problem, then you have to call me, and I will help you solve your IRS problem. Call me at 312-664-6649. Visit me on the web at ChicagoTaxTeam.com. And remember, we have that hotline number, the 312-262-5614, and that's you leave a message, and I could put it on the line.
Yeah, that's right. We could put it right on the air, because again, we're not going to get to everything, all the questions that are out there, because the IRS is a big organization. If they're coming after you, there's only one person to help you, and that's Stephen Leahy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a commercial break coming up, but after the commercial break, we're going to do the IRS saga. Then we got Mr. Know-It-All after that, so stay tuned because more questions and answers are coming your way here on AM 560.
The Answer.